Greetings, my noble knights, it is I, Blaze Templar, and we are here with yet another set of Let's Play Pokemon Showdown, and a longer stretch one over multiple formats. But anyway, once again, playing as the Taekwondo lead, just trying to clear out all of the replays. And again, you might have seen some of these on the channel previously. I don't know which ones were, though. Unfortunately, I didn't keep track of those. So yeah, a little bit confused on which ones are which. And so if there were previous ones that were done, I apologize, but hey, we're here, and we're going to rock with what we got. Anyway, let's get started. So I did lead with the Naganadel. This is one of those Pokemon that I really do like quite a bit. It's hard to fit on a team, I find, but I just U-turned straight into Necrozma, knowing that this thing's going to be an endeavor, and oh, okay, so it was one of those. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to tell with Rattata that it's going to be one of those like endeavor quick attack sets, fear set strategy. So yeah, it's too obvious, and I had a ghost type, so it makes Rattata completely useless. And let's get going further. So this time I led Mewtwo. Most of his team Mewtwo does quite well against, excluding perhaps Deoxys Speed, but I was kind of actually fearing him going straight for the rocks, and I just wanted to get as much damage as I could off on this thing before he starts setting up all the hazards. So I did mitigate his chance of getting multiple hazards up. All he got was his rocks, which is unfortunate, but I can deal with just rocks. Anyway, I go into Necrozma because Mega Kangaskhan can't do too much, I think, except Sucker Punch actually hits pretty hard. And so I Photon Geyser, do some decent damage. Not enough to take it out, and he does outspeed me with the base 100, and Necrozma goes down, which is unfortunate. But I can go into Primal Groudon now. Being a pure ground type, switching in means I take less damage, and then I can Primal Revert, become a fire type on top of that, so when I switch back in, I'll actually take more damage. But I can just go straight for the nice safe Earthquake, and Mega Kangaskhan goes down, so we're looking okay. Giratina comes in, a little bit of an issue, but oh, well, that's probably why I didn't put that up on the channel. I'm sorry, awkward. So we're getting a lot of the odd matches done right now, I guess. This was an underused, which is a little weird to see Scissor and underused, but I guess Mega Scissor kind of plays an overused and regular Scissor and underused. So anyway, I believe it was a Choice Band Scissor that I was using here. Anyway, I lead with Quagsire. It does pretty well against most of his team, except the Latios. I'm fearing a Draco Meteor, but it turns out it goes for the Energy Ball. Also, not a good thing to get hit by, but Specially Defensive Celebi does okay against Latios. I can take repeated Ice Beams. I won't enjoy them, but I can U-turn out, do some super effective damage, and go into my Scarf Heracross. One Mega Horn, easy knockout. Just, delicious. And we get an attack boost. With the rock damage, I'm a little bit tempted to stay in and go for the Mega Horn, but I don't want to risk my Heracross, as Choice Scarf Moxie Heracross is a monster, and so I go into Quagsire knowing that if it wants to Swords Dance or whatever, Quagsire will do just fine. And this is just a nice opportunity for Quagsire to show off why it's Quagsire. And so Scyther is just kind of sitting there Encored into Aerial Ace, really not doing much, and I'm just going to recover and stall it basically. I believe Encore ends at the end of this turn, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it was right. He could have roosted there, which would have been fine for him, but if he had, I would have just roosted, locked him, and then I could have gone into something else and destroyed him. But because he didn't, he just Aerial Aced again and let me get my Quagsire back up to 100. Anyway, in comes Metagross. This thing is a bit of a threat, but I am resistant to basically all of his attacks, so I can just go straight for the Scald. Kind of hoping for a burn. I'm not really worried about getting hit by his Meteor Mashes, and I'm just going to Encore him. And this lets me go straight into my Hydreigon, who has Levitate. I just love Quagsire. It's such a nice Pokemon. People really don't expect it to do all that much, but in the right situations, it just kind of wins you the game. So anyway, gonna go into Quagsire here. It takes some decent damage from the Dragon Claw. Rock Slide is a crit, which is unfortunate, but I'm able to recover that off, and I'm looking fine. At this point, Quagsire just kind of walks over most of his team. I'm going to get some Toxic off on the Ambipom. Not the best thing to Toxic, but it's okay to get Toxic. I'm not really sure what this thing wants to go for, and I'm a little bit worried about losing Quagsire to multiple tail slaps. So I do go into Scissor. Seeing what he's going for, I decide Chandelure is a nice play. And now I actually am running 2 Scarfers. This is, I believe, a Chandelure Scarf as well. So Metagross comes in. No, I guess I'm not Scarfed. If I was Scarfed, I would have stayed in and just Fire Blasted him. But regardless, Meteor Mash is going to go through, do nothing as he misses twice, which is unfortunate for him, but I can just Encore him. And if he gets the boost, I don't care. I'm just going to Scald Burn him eventually, and I'll win overall. And he knows it's over at this point, so he decides to let it go. Quagsire really showing off why it's such an awesome Pokemon. I love that thing. It's so dopey. It's just like, and yet it does so well. Regardless, let's keep moving on. So this time I did lead Hydreigon. I think this is a Z-Crystal Hydreigon, but I'm not sure. Yep, it is Z-Crystal. Devastating Draco Meteor does really nice damage against the Tentacruel. Not enough to one-shot it, but followed up with a critical Earth Power. Almost enough as he Acid Sprays, dropping my special defense. I don't know why he went for that, but now I can Dark Pulse. If he wanted to switch out, it would have done good against most of his Mons. And so I got rid of his special wall, which is really quite nice. Seed Flare is going to miss, unfortunate for him, and I'm able to just go straight for the Fire Blast, do some nice damage. But because I do have the special defense drop, that will do a lot. I know I could take at least one, and I thought just one Fire Blast would take it out. Wasn't the case, but a second one will, and that puts me in a pretty decent situation. But at this point, I want to save my Hydreigon. It still is useful to me, so I'm going to go into Celebi. I could have gone into my Chandelure, but I was kind of fearing the knockoff. But Celebi, not bad, and I can just U-turn on out, and that's exactly what I do. Turns out it's Rocky Helmet, a bit annoying, but now I can go into Scissor. It's Choice Banded, I believe, so it should do pretty decent. Oh, no, I'm not Choice Banded. Maybe I was Frostberry? I don't know. But he's going to Whirlwind me out into Celebi. A bit annoying as, sure, I got my Rocks with this and Leech Seed, which are both nice things to have. But at the same time, this is a Dark Flying type, which is definitely not Celebi's best friend. But the Leech Seed does apparently force him out, so I get the Rocks up relatively freely. I'm not sure what that play was exactly, but I'm just going to set my Leech Seed right back up again as the Rocks do some residual damage. Now I'm getting a U-turn. If he wants to defog, that's fine. Annoying, but fine. And Scissor can come in. And, yep, there's the defog. Not entirely surprised, but because the Leech Seed is still up, that will mean I'll be able to do some good damage when it's time. I do go for the Sword Stance. I am a little scared, though. I don't know if I can take it out with one shot, so I do go into Chandelure. I think I went with the Infiltrator ability. Oh, and it does have a Z-Crystal, so my trick strategy proves unfortunately ineffective in this case, and so Chandelure isn't able to trick the Scarf. I'm going to switch to Celebi here as Death Fodder. I really want to keep the Chandelure around, as it is very quick. And I do have a couple of very offensive threats, and in this case, Heracross is one of them. Earthquake, a little predictable, but at the same time, I just don't really care too much. But I'm going to go ahead and hard switch into the Quagsire. So this battle was a little bit on the tedious side. Regardless, gonna get the Scald going. Kinda hoping for a little bit of the burn shenanigan to kick in. But I guess I decided on the Toxic there. It's been so long since I played this. Yeah, this was back in July. Holy smokes. So, yeah, seeing the Draco come in makes sense that it's attacked the Chandelure. And, again, apologies that it's been so long, but, you know. So now Hydreigon comes in, and nothing on his team really wants to take the Draco Meteor, so down goes Drampa. A bit nice for me in that regard, but unfortunately, Without the Chandelure, I'm in a little bit of a tighter spot as this thing actually hits really hard. I may be able to survive another one, so I stay in and go for the recover. Unfortunately, I don't survive that. Looks like that was a low and mid or min-max roll kind of situation. So I'm going to go into Heracross now, and I think I go straight for the close combat. Makes sense as it hits his entire team pretty hard. Unfortunately, that's a situation when it's really close, but I decided to take the risk, I guess, seeing as how it was a min-max for me too. And so at this point, I'm pretty sure a +1 close combat should do some heavy damage to Salazzle, maybe even one-shotting it, but he switches into Mienshao, which I don't really understand. And now it's a guaranteed one-shot. I mean, and both of us know it's that way, so GG. And we're going to move on. I think this will be the last one I record for this set. Again, oh wow, must have been back when I first got the Chromebook, so yeah, we'll see. So I do decide to leave the Celebi as he Toxic Spikes. I'm going to set up my rocks in the process. He's Acid Spraying. You know, just the kind of basic starting things. I'm going to U-turn, go into Quagsire, so the thing I'm most concerned about being toxic isn't toxic and just poisoned instead. And he's actually going to let me get Heracross in with just poison damage instead of toxic damage, which I'm not going to complain about. But now I can go into Scissor. He has Scald, though. That's going to scare me right on out. Oh, I guess I have Rossberry, so I'm not scared of it after all. Okay. So he's going to Scald again, and it's going to knock me out. So this match is going great right now. He's going to set up the Toxic Spikes. I'm Earth Powering, getting a critical hit, which is kind of nice, but he's going to Rapid Spin. A bit unfortunate, but Dark Pulse will take it out. So Hydreigon, not the worst thing to have. Scissor doesn't eat Fire Blast very well. In comes Aggron. I can go for Earth Power. It should do some good damage and almost one-shot, or, well, knocks it down to 50% anyway. And Quagsire comes in as he sets up Stealth Rocks. At this point, I'm really not bothered by entry hazards. It's a little annoying, sure, but the things I wanted toxic, I don't get toxic, and so it works out for me. Anyway, I do go for the Recover the first time around, kind of predicting him what to go for the Dragon Tail, but he substitutes, so that's a thing. Anyway, Energy Ball, yeah, Quagsire is not living one of those. Down I go, and I can go into Chandelure now. I don't mind it being toxic, as I don't really plan on this thing staying in for long periods of times. And it's Choice Scarf, so it's going to hit like a nuke. Rotom Cut takes heavy damage from the Shadow Ball. Not enough to one-shot it, but it puts it in range of a Stone Edge, and down it goes. And I do get an attack boost, so it kind of makes me go, okay, I could probably take on Gliscor without too much of a problem. But thankfully for me, he actually knocks me off, which normally I'm a little annoyed by, but in this case, it's not entirely a bad thing. Unfortunately, he is the Toxic Stall, Substall variant, and so that's a little annoying. But he isn't actually, because he's forgot his Poison Heal. But now I can just go for Devastating Strike, take it out. So that could have been a lot worse, but Hydreigon comes through. Just a nice base speed being enough to deal with the more defensive natured Gliscor, so, you know. Yeah, I think that'll be it for today. I still have a set more battles that we can do, again, from just my records, so we'll get through those fairly quickly. And I will see you on the next Showdown battle set. Later.